Trixie suffer in some of the games, but he also had a pretty good game where he was able to make kind of the heroes that are able to find those pickoffs, like the axe and such, heroes that are used to move around the map, pair it up with someone like Era, getting the lifestealer combination, which we saw have a lot of effect, that kind of duo. So I think it all really depends, and I'm very interested to see what hero they do give to Trixie, because he's shown us that some heroes he can really pull out amazing plays, other heroes it does seem like he struggles a little bit more.
Well, we're going to find out which hero they are going to give to Trixie, because we are in the draft of the first game of Escape versus Imperial. We're in the lower bracket, is round 1, and whoever loses this round will indeed go home. It will be Imperial on Dire, Escape on Radiant, and we have a Drow and OD band with a Lifestealer and Batrider band on Imperial side.
We have it again. Imperial picking the Ogre, banning out Lifestealer, which was something that they did do against Liquid. They also do against Escape Gaming. Matuma Man's Lifestealer obviously very good. Also Era's Lifestealer very good in this series, which is something that they're worried about. And something that can kind of play around very nicely a lot of the things that Imperial attempt to do. So the real question is just going to be what Escape Gaming decide to open with here. I mean, is there any chance that they themselves decide to take... Well, obviously, the bat being banned out from Imperial, of course, they know that Escape Gaming, they're a team that would pick up the bat to stop Imperial getting the bat, you know what I mean? So they have to ban it.
What's up with the OD first ban? Because so far, Imperial, sure, Baby Knight likes it, but, I mean, we have not seen OD, I think, it was picked at all today?
Well, no, I mean...
In
the series against Imperial, Liquid banned it second, both games.
Yeah, second.
Other teams have had it available to them and not taken it though. So.
But Baby Knight's OD is arguably one of his, I'd say, his top two best heroes.
Yeah. I think these are the same two bands that Liquid used against Imperial, the Drow OD from my
it was Drow, OD, Sniper. I'm going to be interested to see if Escape Gaming do ban the Sniper as well, or if we haven't seen teams go against Imperial, they're like, yeah, we don't like the Drow, we don't like the OD, Sniper, we can beat a Sniper, and they let it through. But Escape Gaming with that instant pick on, secondly, on getting Coifer's Invoker. I mean, I wonder with that, if they pick that up this early so they feel that they don't have to ban the Sniper, because they feel that already they kind of put Imperial off picking it with that early mid pick.
Sniper's okay against the Invoker just because you sit back alright, but I think this is the hero that it turned around the series initially for Escape. When they lost game 1, they were like, we need Koikva on a bigger, more playmaking hero. We want that can dish out some damage. They picked him Invoker, and then come game 3, Invoker was first stage banned because of how good a hero was for them. So I think Escape want to make sure they just get Koikva in a position to shine once again. And I don't think it completely deters the Sniper.
Yeah, you could still see Baby Knight pulling it through. And
that's
the Baby Knight. Actually, both cores play it.
It's only Ace who plays it, but this is like a direct counter against the Exo Invoker. Whether or not you want to lane it against the Invoker is another matter, but it could theoretically be either lane.
Yeah. And it's a Imperial staple. I mean, this is their hero. They play it as one of the only teams that still plays PA as often as they do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hero that's... some teams do sometimes pick it up, but by no means is there any other team that picks it up as regularly as we've seen Imperial do.
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to see Era play Juggernaut again? I know I do. Here it comes. Any moment now, right?
Yeah, it's
ban it, I guess?
Good against maybe ban it because it's good against PA because Omnislash doesn't care about evasion, but yeah, that's an annoying hero. Healing Ward's good against PA as well because often the hero is just throwing stifling daggers from afar, doesn't kill Healing Ward at all. So.
I mean, as well, I think at this point, if you're Escape, you might want to think about Hester Joe picking up Slardar. And I don't know if that's something you might want to ban, because Slardar and PA is dirty, and indeed, straight up, they ban the Slardar. You do not let that through, especially a team like Imperial. Hester Joe, I kind of put his best 3 heroes as kind of the Bat, the Slardar, and the Sand King. So you just take that out.
Yeah, the Darkseer was the other ban targeted at him, where it's like Darkseer and PA is a similar thing, where Darkseer just gives PA more damage, more mobility, and is a big problem hero to deal with paired with a PA.
I'm a little interested what Hester Joe is going to be playing this game, because they themselves banning out the SK, so a lot of very, very strong offlane has been taken out already in this draft. Seems to be the main target, really, of this drafting phase from both teams.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Offlane is very limited right now, with 5 offlaners banned out. There's still the Void, Tidehunter.
Yeah.
They play Legion Commander quite a lot, which could be something they consider.
I'd still kind of like to see the Jug for Escape Gaming.
Did he just yell at his monitor?
I think he blew dust off it.
Okay. What are you doing?
He blew it a kiss. Now, oh, look at that, Faceless Void. Dreamleague last season staple of Escape Gaming. We used to call them the double bubble team.
We did. And
Yeah,
great
Enigma
synergy
Void.
with Invoker as well.
Uh-huh. You put them in that lockdown, you throw some meatballs, and you got yourself one heck of a Olive Garden dinner there.
Get some fatal bonds on
Very
there.
good against PA as well.
Oh,
So
really?
the PA's got to be careful about how she jumps in, because immediately, as you said, you know, a Chrono and a Sunstrike, and bam, the PA's gone in the earlier stages of the game.
Perhaps need some extra control from Imperial because, I mean, so far,
Maybe-
like, how are you going to deal with that team fight coming out from Escape?
I wonder if they do get... I mean, they're not really a team that plays something like an Oracle a lot. It's some kind of saving hero. SD is still there. I don't know if they...
Io, Noya plays Io a
He
lot.
does, actually. IO...
Well, he's normally the ogre. If anything, they're more
Yeah,
like
it's a
the
rise
rise hero.
and
but
he's normally kind of Lion,
Lion,
Rubik.
Rubik is the two big ones. But Lion is pretty good against the Void because you've got a lot of lockdown. You can stop the time walk. He likes to go
Yeah.
for that max Impale and Hex build, skipping mana drain altogether.
A
But
hero that could be good. Slacks, you're gonna like it.
Huh?
Omni Knight.
Oh!
But does Imperial play? They go for the Keeper of the Light instead. Blinding Light is very good inside that Chronosphere. Make sure, or rather, if the Kardel is outside anyway,
Yeah.
make sure that Faceless Void is not hitting anything. But you're still going to have to deal with that damage coming out from Invoker and from the Warlock.
Yeah, I mean, if the call gets good axe timing, that's going to be fantastic, because
Yes.
you've now got some way to offer that AoE heal to negate some of the damage that the Invoker's throwing down. You're going to have the daytime flying vision to allow PA to find easier targets to jump onto. You've obviously got the extra mana to doll into the PA to get like that just double dagger spam as such, and deal huge amounts of nuke damage once PA's got a decent amount of items. But it's
Oh,
again,
hell yeah.
picking out the clock, and you'd imagine that's... I mean, Trixie can play it, or of course, Yap can play the support Clockwork.
Oh, we gotta see that support.
I
Clockwork.
want to see Yaps or Clockwork.
very good hero against Keeper of the Light in general because Keeper's always standing still, staying behind, throwing an Illuminate. You want to get to the guy, but you really can't. Clockwork, he'll get right on top of him. He'll stop that Illuminate spam coming out and be a big menace.
And all of a sudden, he can't really rush Aghanims anymore. He has to go for a 4-step first.
Yep.
Not a 4-step isn't too bad in this game, though. I mean, Mana Leak is still going to be a great skill, and you can
Yeah, for
always
sure.
Mana Leak 4-staff him after the Mana Leak, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, guys.
Sure.
Hey, look at that video. It has square cogs.
Well, look at that.
Oh,
Oh, that's pretty
Once upon a
good.
time.
once upon a time. A game called Dota 2. Okay.
Imperial. Yeah, Esther Joe's hero is still really kind of up in the air, what he goes for. Beastmaster, another one of the strong offlaners that we have seen him on in the past. Again, something that gives the vision for PA to jump from target to target. Something that you can also use to just make sure it's hard enough for the Warlock or the Void as such to get out those ults in the team fights.
There's not much like lane push right now. I mean, Keep It Light is lane push, but like from that core, so that's saying PA doesn't have.
Oh, it's the baby knight brood.
This is another hero
This is
that
something that so many teams ban out against them in the second phase, was
Yeah.
the final ban, and Imperial, they have seen the chance to pick it up at this stage.
that's so good, and it's a great matchup versus the Invoker mid. Exo Invoker just dies against the Brood. They've only got one pick left to kind of try and pick something that can counter Brood.
I mean,
They can swap things around. They can put Era on the Void.
but you don't want
pick up
Void
a
safe
different
lane.
offlane.
Well, I guess Brood's not going to be offlane, at least you don't expect it.
You can pick something that's good against
can Hester
Brood.
Joe play? I'm trying to think if we've ever seen them do it where Hester Joe plays the Brood.
I've seen, I want to say I've
Yes,
seen
they
Ace
have.
play.
Ace,
I've
Hester
seen-
Joe, and
They
Baby
all
Knight.
play the
All
Brood.
three play the Brood.
That's scary to go against,
Yes.
because you don't know where that's coming.
Jesus.
You'd imagine Baby Knight, because that's the
Against the Invoker.
Yeah,
That's the
Baby
signature.
Knight and Ace are the ones that play it most. Of
That's
the
a
three,
crazy
but-
thing to say. Like the mid and the carry player play Brood more than the offlaner does, but yeah, it's definitely the case with this team. I think if you're Escape, you're definitely thinking about last picks onto some kind of a Sand King, Legion Commander, X-type hero that can verse the Brood in lane, and even if it's not directly in lane, that later on can help clear out the waves, because none of those four heroes clear out Spiderlings at all.
Yeah. What are we missing on Escape? What do we need here?
A Brood counter.
Something
Yes.
that-
Oh, no.
I think that's the main thing you're
Okay.
looking at.
It depends where the Void and Clock are going.
Right. So
Yeah.
could they potentially get a Bounty Hunter? I mean, pretty good
Escape.
against Coddle, pretty good against Brood,
In
not too bad against
theory-
early damage.
No AoE though. Like I think it's really bad against Brood in the early game. It's only good later on when you've got trap for the following Brood. But
Okay.
in theory, Clockwork can be either offlane or support. Void can be either offlane or core. So they're very open in what they still can go for. If they like basically any pick that they want to go for, that would do what they want to do.
And I do like that Beastmaster ban. You know, as mentioned earlier, one of the strong offlaners that's still in the pool, and something that Hester Joe would definitely play.
Yeah, I think Axe is maybe the ban here. Oh, Sven actually, they're worried about the carries.
I think it's the offlane Void. Well, they're more worried about that potential, just being there for the offlane Void.
Sven's really good against Brood. You can actually almost 1v1 him with the cleave build.
I mean, they could go for the Axe themselves, Imperial.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good hero for them.
10 seconds.
Well,
See, we're gonna find out very soon. I mean, that will also, at least, probably reveal where that Brood's gonna go. They could still pick something up that leaves it completely up in the air.
They can really switch it all around,
yeah.
I mean, even as I mentioned, Baby Knight can play the PA mid. We've seen him do this before, and we've seen him have absolutely amazing games on Nature's Prophet back in the League player Dreamleague. So I do like this final pick here from Imperial.
And Escape's just like, oh god, last time we versus Nature's Prophet.
Dude, I'm saying, Escape, let's just send Clock into support, stay Flame Void, let's get an off-lane Shaker going. You know, or maybe Yapsor has played support Shaker recently, I want to say as well. I can't remember what it was in, but they could fit a Shaker into their draft.
Is that enough to deal with the Brood in the early game?
I mean, I still feel Shaker's just not a very good hero, but obviously just the threat of the Echo Slam is always going to be there in the minds.
Yeah. They want an early game hero. They need an early game hero that can deal with
what about a Pudge? Let's get Pudge in. That's wave clear.
Yeah, that's great. Sure.
Probably, you want to say it's Era going to be playing the Timbersaw with an offlane Void, but those two they could swap it around a bit. You want to get that Timbersaw perhaps matching up against the Brood if possible, but...
Yep.
I'll go first. Imperial is going to take this first game.
Wow. Imperial got a lot of cool picks, a lot of strange picks, but those things don't win games. I'm going to be going with Escape.
I'm on Team Shiva for this one.
Oh.
I gotta be honest, I'm liking that Timbersaw final pick. I'm going to go with Escape on this one. I think that's going to be a really strong hero this game.
We got an even split here. It is our first game, Escape Gaming. Can they do it? Can they beat Imperial? Can they beat the Brood? We're going to hear it from our commentators. It is over to Annie and Fogged.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
All right, thank you, panel. I am very excited for this game, Fogged. This is going to be the homage to Bulldog. We've got a Nature's Prophet and a Broodmother picked up by the Imperial. What?
Yeah, I mean, this is... there's a reason that people were just banning out the Broodmother a lot versus Imperial, at least in Dreamleague in the season, you know, during the season play, but... Yeah, they even picked the Furion too. I feel like that might have been a little bit of just like overkill, but they really want to just emphasize on this split push, and then if the PA gets massive at one point, he can, you know, be that like carry potential. But I think this is just super about the lanes for Imperial. I don't even know, like Timber can kind of deal with Brood, but then they have a Invoker short lane, right? Like it's just it really throws a wrench into the entire game plan, because you usually look at Escape's lineup and you're like, damn, they got some pretty sexy heroes. But then you throw a Broodmother into the mix, it just messes up everything. It just completely changes the whole dynamic of the game, just because he dominates Invoker so hard in the mid lane that you actually can't even put him there. So yeah, they're gonna have to put Escape, they're gonna have to put Era matched up versus this Broodmother in the mid lane, but still.
Yeah, we're talking in draft how Imperial, they just kind of walked over Escape in the drafting phase. Like, how do Escape deal with the split push that's coming at them? Like, what are their best options? Do you, like, Battle Fury Void? Like, what do you even...
I mean, if they can make it out of the laning phase without just like losing this mid tower and just having no response to this Broodmother, I think they can be okay just because of their massive team fight, and Imperial doesn't really have that. But being able to have this like split push potential with the Coddle being able to bring people around, Furin of course is constantly split pushing, Broodmother just eating a lane. I mean, it's super hard to tell who's really gonna take it, just because you really don't see Broodmother anymore for a good reason, because he's just not really like such a favorable hero. But Imperial likes playing it, so I don't know. This is an interesting one. It is a short lane Invoker, like we were mentioning too on Koikva, which is just not great. You know, it just limits the hero in a lot of ways. You know, you really want that mid lane, and we'll see if they're gonna be able to handle all this. I mean, I don't know. This is crazy. What a day.
Yeah, this is going to be our last series of the day. Again, this best of 3. neither of these teams, or rather one of these teams, will not make it to day number 2.
Yep.
They are going to be going home here. I mean, what are your predictions? We talked about the panel's predictions, but what do you think is going to be going down in this series?
I'm going with Imperial as well. I think it's pretty scary. You know, you're laning versus this Broodmother, which is okay. The laning phase is extremely important for them, but they even have some like scaling potential. You know, PA scales super hard to late phase laning game, obviously, but they even have Bloodlust on top of that with the Keep of the Light being able to move them around the map, keep like able to spam out lanes. Mana Leak super disruptive versus this Void versus this Timbersaw, even versus Invoker can be super obnoxious. So yeah, it's such an interesting approach. We're just gonna have to see how these lanes pull out, and it's gonna be super important for Imperial. If they can't deal with this Broodmother, the game's just gonna explode in escape space for sure.
Yeah, I like the Imperial strategy here. They go for not only the Broodmother, but also the Prophet. So if Escape are allocating all the resources to deal with the Spiderlings, then all of a sudden trees are pushing down your racks, and there's only so much Escape can do. So it's really gonna come down to how successful these two little rats can be. Now, Ogre on Imperial was able to put down a lot of good boards here, was able to place this Observer, still unscattered out, and the Sentry, so that's going to be revealing the motion coming towards this bottom rune for Escape.
Yeah, Timber can, you know, obviously tank up the spiders with reactive armor. You know, that's the kind of the obvious thing. But clearing the spiders becomes a little bit harder when you're super low level. You know, if he's able to get like a lot of spiders when you're only like level 5 or something, he's just constantly going to be farming, sending the spiders to the neutrals, farming with them there. You know, just getting a ton of space on the map for his team, and just pressuring a lot, and you know, forcing a lot of resources because they have to buy some sentries for the Timbersaw for the first like couple levels.
I mean, how successful do you think this Timbersaw is going to be? Because when it was picked up, you nodded, you're like, yeah, you're vibing with the Timbersaw, but what does he have to do to really control this Broodmother?
I mean, I don't even know if it's control so much. It's just, you know, he has to just be a Timbersaw in the middle lane and just kind of stand there and deal with what the situation he's given. Because you even mentioned it too. It's a Timbersaw into 0 strength heroes, which kind of hurts. But yeah, he just has to farm in this lane. I mean, they needed something. They needed an axe. They needed a Legion Commander. They needed a Timber. And yeah, it was off to a great start. I think he's gonna. Okay, 3 CS. Misses the range creep, but still.
Alright, Cinderin taking a beating from the Ogre down in the bottom lane, but has to go and just level up his Shadow Word. He'll be A-okay, but this is going to be a tri-lane on dual lane, and so far Imperial are not really scared of the 3 heroes in the bot.
Yep, Ogre being that super tanky frontliner, obviously, and then yeah, top lane, they have Mana Leak level 1 and Dagger for the Void, so that's super obnoxious. They already forced out his salve right away, and yeah.
Shout out to Nox for the memes there in the stat box. Nice job.
Didn't even see it. Too focused on these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, these lanes are going to get violent pretty quickly. I feel like Imperial, they've got that early game go strat. I know Noya's going to get half his mana burned up by those cogs, but I mean, there's going to be not a whole lot of CS pouring in for Escape right now. Timbersaw is doing a fine job mid, but down bottom, the experience and the gold is getting spread pretty thin.
Yeah. He's doing good, but yeah, that's a very important thing that you point out there. You know, the spreading the experience 3 ways with an Invoker really sucks. Like this hero, I said it multiple times, this is not a short lane hero. He doesn't do so well. Sure, you have Cold Snap and everything. If you do catch someone with Sunstrike in a cog is cool, but yeah, it's definitely not your most optimal for Invoker. They probably want to be moving around a little bit. They dewarded the pull now, so they're gonna have that open soon, but. I say that in actually.
Down bottom, Noya, he goes in, he's fresh out of mana. Can Cinderin actually make anything happen here? Cinderin doesn't have that Shadow Word available, just going and trying to get something done with that. There is going to be Hesta Joe going, TPing in front, trying to go for the body blocks here. Yapstor can get blocked in. He only has his cogs up in 1 more second. He's able to get these off. He goes in into the tree line, denying a cogs, but the little tree ants going in, trying to make some more space. He gobbles up a tree with a tango and should be just fine.
Space is the right word right there. He forced both of them out of the bottom lane. Now Koi's able to get some solo experience, some solo farm. That's very good for them baiting him. And now Trixie getting some pressure on him in the top lane. Mana leaked up.
He's gonna be lucky to get out of this one alive. He has his time walk and is able to just zip back on 3. Also has his stick with 4 charges if necessary. 5 now. Pop your stick and, well, retreat to safety. So Ace getting a lot of space in this top lane in terms of CS. 9 and 6 right now. How dangerous is this PA if left unattended?
Well, it's a hero that definitely just still takes a long time. You know, you want to get your Deso, you want to get your BKB or your. I think Ace actually goes for the Vlad's first item into the Desolator most of the times we've seen him play it, so he'll probably do a similar build like that. And it benefits his Broodmother as well if he's ever in the same area of him, which I don't even know if we will. But yeah, that's just an Ace standard build. Usually just a Deso rush, but he really likes his Vlad's. Gives him that sustain.
Back towards our mid lane, our Timbersaw, who was doing, exceptional in CS, is now being outdone by the Broodmother. She can just wobble on over to these neutrals, grab up some more spiders, and continue her push. When do you think this Broodmother is going to get real ugly? When does she just start charging towers and not giving a care about who's trying to stop her?
I mean, it is a little hard because, you know, Era's gonna be level 6 pretty soon, but I think it's whenever this Timbersaw rotates out of lane, he just puts the pressure on. But he's a...
Yeah, sir. He just walks in and gets mana leaked up, sits in the safety of his cogs, but...
Now there's a port out from Hesta Joe. They're gonna put the pressure on Yapso. Yapso looks like he's gonna die.
He's got no more mana. He's trying to crawl his way through the trees, but first blood goes to our Nature's Prophet. They might be able to find Trixie as well. He's got 5 charges on his wand and has his time walk, but they've got the mana leak here. He has to sit still. He has to be patient. There is, no Sprout available, but Trixie looks to be fighting this one out. There's going to be a blink forward from Ace. A couple more hits should do it, but Yapsor respawns, heads back in, wants to find the kill onto Hesta Joe, looking for the cogs on him. We'll just try to burn up his mana. Looks like Yapsor will have to retreat. Faceless Void moving forward, does have the time walk, can use it aggressively.
Looking for the Sunstrike. I saw him kind of idling around the bottom lane.
There we go.
And
it will not connect. Hesta Joe definitely keen on that.
Yeah, I was watching him kind of just like stand around looking for it. I knew he was going for that type of option, but yeah, like I kind of mentioned with like the Broodmother, since it's versus like this kind of like natural, I guess you could say, like counter in the mid lane, he can't really pressure this Timbersaw. He's able just like, he's gonna farm and he's just gonna send Broodlings to the jungle and he's gonna get that little extra farm. Even though he doesn't get the experience from killing those neutrals, he gets the money, so that's the big thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many sources for Escape to make some extra cash in the map. You've got Spiderlings, you've got Tree Ants. Is that going to start to add up for Escape if they keep throwing those?
I mean, if they're able to kill a lot of them, but I think that these guys are, they're very used to playing these heroes, so they shouldn't be feeding too many of the Broodlings or the Spiderlings. That it wouldn't make too much of a difference anyway. Like it's kind of hard for them to clear them like in those type of essences. It's just like you're not really gonna see him micro a stack of Broodlings onto a Timbersaw. It's just unlikely.
Yeah, right now speaking of microing Broodlings, just going clearing the jungle, keeping the cash flowing for our Brood Mama. Yep. She's doing really well in terms of overall net worth.
Yep, sitting on the top. This is just, you know, it's a baby night special. This is just what he likes to do. I mean, him, Ace, and Hesta Joe all three play this, and it's obnoxious.
I mean, is it just ultra situational? Is it a hero you pick when you're going up against someone like Escape that you read very well and know very well? Because it seems like Broodmother is just not picked, and you see what kind of power it can bring to the mid lane. Oh, down bottom. Noya, that cold snap doing some work. There's going to be the cause. The Ogre is now trapped in, just trying to survive, trying to beat someone down, trying to get something there. Meanwhile, Hesta Joe will go for the trade, takes out the Invoker, most likely going to lose his own life here. Yapsor with that battery assault going to get sprouted up. One more hit, but he does have his wand. Still goes down in the end. Now Cinder in some serious trouble as Ace has made his way back down. It's going to be a triple kill for the Prophet as the trees do his dirty work there.
Nice movement there by Ace, coming down there, not really expected. Nice wraparound from Yapsor getting the Ogre, but Hesta Joe standing his ground fighting. Nice stick as well from Yapsor. I feel like we see this all the time, him save his stick charges and survive like with one hit. I think it's versus Imperial, I see it like most of the time too, but yeah, nice little trades, definitely benefiting Imperial a bit more. And now they're just going to keep the pressure on. Koikva showed bottom lane, and Hesta Joe's porting in, but there's going to be some follow-up. Ace only has one more dagger after this. Koikva does have the Wex Wex skilled up after that. One creep dies, and he's ghost walks.
Escape, they're all moving in. They want to get something done. The Cog's burning up a little bit of mana of Hesta Joe, but he still seems nice and healthy. Cinder in, he's only level 4, nowhere near that chaotic offering, and now he's taking a ton of damage. Hesta Joe gobbling his way through the trees. There's going to be a TP in from the Timbersaw. He's going to be clearing out the map, looking for all those trees. Now Nature's Prophet, he's still going in. Nice dagger is going to connect, and that Invoker is back in the grave. Cinder in, he's getting low. He will have to retreat with the clockwork.
Yeah, Era actually ends up canceling his TP. I think it's hard for him to really move anyway, because they'll just take a tower if he does that. But Baby Knight, anyway, he moves toward the top lane since Ace made the rotation, and he ends up pressuring that a bit.
Yeah, he's been going. He made this little web path through so he can go ahead and take some Ancients for himself. Now, mid lane, we are going to have a rotation in. Nature's Prophet again with the global presence going in onto Era. They get the stun. He's also mana burned and will not live to Timber Chain across the river. So really nice rotations. Imperial just making their presence known on this map right now.
This Broodmother, I mean, it throws a wrench in your whole thing. You know, you're forced to put this Invoker safe lane. Invoker has 21 CS. He's only level 6.
Yapsor is going to get spotted up. Hesta Joe on this Prophet.
Making the plays. He's all over the place.
Is today the day the Prophet comes back from the dead? Because it has had a huge impact in the last couple of games we've seen it. Is this like the most picked Prophet has ever been in a day of Dota?
I mean, it's the two teams that would pick it, right? Imperial likes to pick the Furin a bit, and Alliance, you know, they're Alliance.
Of course, now Tower's going to be going down. It is not going to be denied. Era looking to move forward, wants to get aggressive here, but onto Hesta Joe and Ace there. Is that really the right play? There's low mana on both. Hesta Joe just goes for the TP out. The Sunstrike's going to come in, but TP goes forward before it can connect.
Yep, Noya now getting eyes on Koikva, gonna follow him around a bit. He's like, alright guys, you know, look at this Invoker. He's actually got nowhere to go. This poor soul, this poor lad. just doesn't know what to do. He's just like, I guess I got a jungle, guys.
I mean,
like, I don't even know what's
he
going on.
just hits his level 6, 8.5 minutes into the game. That is not an ideal timing for Invoker. Meanwhile, your Broodmother, who's crawling around, she's level 9 already. Mid lane, Yapzor is going to get stuck up. There is going to be that Fire Blast to hold him in place. Look how quickly those spiders just turn his insides to goop. Oh my god.
This is starting to look like kind of what we expected in the laning phase. You know, it puts so much pressure. You know, you're forced to react in such a manner that it makes it super awkward for your lineup. This Broodmother is now going to be going toward a super fast Orchid, and it counters all 3 cores on the side of Escape. Pretty hard. Void, Timbersaw, and Invoker, obviously heroes that rely a lot on their spells. Invoker probably the least where it counters him. Of course, you know, in like team fight situations it will, but killing the Void and Timbersaw catches them out with ease.
Is this 100% an Orchid? I've seen some Brood Echo Sabers recently.
I would assume it would be, just because of the lineup that he's playing versus. It's super good versus the cores, like I mentioned, and yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of just what I assume.
Alright, PA goes into that Vlad, just trying to get some sustain to herself so she can just keep hopping in. I mean, PA has not really a care in the world. It's not like her team is relying on her for damage right now. She has all the time she needs to scale up and not feel pressure to try to take fights too early. So Ace has just been chilling, going in, tossing out a couple daggers. But you look at the net worth, and Brood and Prophet, even at these early levels, are really holding their own.
Yeah, I mean, how do you really kill this PA, right? Like, if he gets chronoed and you use everything on him, okay, he'll die. But there's no real stun or lockdown. They have to use the Chronosphere to pretty much bring him down, because he can just blink out of a cold snap, blink out of everything else they use. So they have to commit a lot in order to kill this Phantom Assassin hero.
I mean, you look at where the damage is coming from Escape, where their initiations are coming from, and it's going to be a Clockwork hookshot in and then a rock drop by the Warlock, and neither of those buddies have their ultis yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Escape just can't fight right now. Right now, they're still scrambling around for farms, scrambling for experience, and Imperial are having the time of their lives.
Yeah, they're pressuring safe lane. They know that there's nothing that these heroes can really do to react to this. You know, if an Escape really wants to react, they have to bring like 3 or 4 man gank squad to kill like 1 hero on each side of on the side of Imperial.
Speaking of gank squad, they're moving in. They're smoked up. Yapzor, even without that hook shot, he can look to try to scout things out. There is going to be the Void jumping in, gets the Chrono off onto the Prophet. That'd be a great hero to take down. Meanwhile, in the back lines, Noya fighting for his life, just walking away, walks straight into the Chakram. Looks like Noya will bite off more than he can chew. Tries to get the knight to neutrals, but will go down to the Timber Chain.
I think that's good. You know, the Chrono was forced out on the Furion, and he just runs in and tanks the gank. You know, he runs into the Clockwork and the Warlock, and just like, whatever, guys, I'm over. Kill me.
Name of the game is space. Yeah. All right. So Imperial, they still get something for that after all. I mean, Ace continued to farm up. Looks like that Blightstone is eventually going to be a Desolator, most likely.
Yep. Get some more tower pressure now at the Blightstone plus Treant, so they're going to be able to pressure this top tower. And look at Escape. They're just like, what do we do? They're just running like this crew.
Alright, Warlock has ult. This is big.
They have to use like so many different. They have to bring so many heroes to really kill any of the cores on the side of Imperial. It's actually so hard for Escape to really do much.
Alright, Clockwork needs this one little siege creep, and he will be able to hit his 6.
Midas acquired.
Alright, he's so close. He's 586 out of 600 to get that level 6. But, you know, it's all good. I think once Escape actually get their ult, do you think one really smooth, cohesive team fight can get this started? Like, I'm talking Chronosphere on top of Hookshot, with a Chakram rolling out throughout, and then the Chaotic offering to keep everyone stunned up.
I think if Imperial gives them that opportunity, they're making a big mistake, because their lineup is not made for team fighting just yet. It's still just about this split mentality, keep splitting, get such a massive advantage that we can just kind of steamroll them over. And that's, I mean, they're on their way to be doing that. Like, this PA is massive, Broodmother's massive, Furion's not as massive, but you know, he's an off lane, so he's owning.
We are about 12.5 minutes in, and the net worth chart's already a little bit out of control here. Now Noya, again, making some space, drawing that aggression, while the rest of his team's able to push in. Trixie, rotating through the jungle, may not like this so much. The Courier,
here comes the Brood.
Yeah, it's giving him an opportunity to go forward. There's the Brood, the time dilation comes out, but it's not really scaring anyone too much. Trixie's got to watch his step. He's going to get stunned up from the Mana League, and he's got nothing else to his name. Meanwhile, Clockwork falls. This is just a bloodbath. Imperial.
He died to spiders. There wasn't even a hero there. He just ran him down with the spiders when he's orchided.
Broodmother, please relax. It's 12 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, they also pick up the kill on Trixie, who's, I mean, he has got nothing. Like, he's got just these treads, he's got a poor man's shield, a Quelling Blade, and he's on his way to a Headdress, but he doesn't have this flags, he doesn't have any of the items where he wants to be. It's just, this is such a disruptive lineup from Imperial, and Escape is just unable to find their footing in any way right now. It's it's super devastating for them. Like I mentioned, they have to commit so many different things to get a hero kill, but I think that they have to do something at some point. They can't just let Imperial play their game style like this.
This super deep ward from the dire side is going to scout out all these TP rotations in. Broodmother is still going to get Chroma. There's a Sunstrike on top of her and the Meatball. She's in some serious trouble. Baby Knight is able to pop the ult, but not enough lifesteal to get her through that. Now that's just a question mark for me, because again, this ward down here near the tier 2 Radiant Tower did scout out those rotations.
Yeah, I guess he didn't give a crap.
Yeah, Broodmother, he's indestructible, but I mean that 1 kill alone is almost 700 gold straight to the void.
Yeah, it's a big swing, but it's definitely, you know, one of many steps for Escape to make it back in this game.
I mean, PA is more than halfway towards Desolator, just needs about 800 more gold, and that's going to be tough. Those towers are just going to melt.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do so much damage in these fights today with Bloodlust. Like, he's a much harder carry than anything Escape has, so as far as laning phase goes, they've got, pretty much Imperial got everything they wanted, and now they even have this PA who scales super hard into the later stages of the game, so yeah, it's definitely really hard for Escape. They have to play as this very cohesive unit, and they're going to have to just, you know, they're going to have to be very careful going into this game. It's super tough for them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the net worth breakdown, and Broodmother, PA, Nature's Prophet, they're all just at the top of the chart. They're exactly where they need to be. But if you check the overall net worth graph, that is going to be that big spike right there where Broodmother was killed off. So it seems like all Escape have to do is isolate those really high-value cores, take them out once or twice, and they've found themselves small stepping stones back into this.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's still so sad. Like, you know, they have to clump up. Like, look at this. Koikfa's not even farming with his real hero. He's just using Forge Spirits to farm.
Oh, bottom lane Era just going to get dropped on. Looks like he's just trying to clear himself out of here. He's just going to be mana burned down, and maybe Ace will have some mercy just going back to farming.
Yeah, max reactive armor. He's fairly tanky. They can't really kill him yet without the Desolator, and they don't have like an ogre there for the lockdown.
Hook shot in. Yep, Slark gets himself onto the cliff. Well, he's going to need to just chill there for a little bit. He doesn't have mana for a TP.
Baby Knight's going to go back in on bottom lane. We do see a rock dropped out. There's 3 people Fatal bonded, but there's nothing really they can do to chase up. Era's trying, but misses the Timber Chain. Like,
yeah, that's a really big cooldown from the Warlock. Now Cinderin's fresh out of mana. This Golem is just going to be bopping up creeps. Sunstrike comes in and will be able to finish off the Prophet. Very well played by the Invoker. It's something. That Prophet was pretty high value there. That's almost 750 gold going to our Invoker.
I'm actually trying to look. Okay, so I think he was sitting at like 420 health, and Sunstrike does 412 pure damage, but with the intellect, intellect giving you spell damage, it was actually just enough to kill him, so...
That was like hardcore math right there. Now PA cleans up the Golem for a little extra money. She's doing really well for herself. Completed Death Zone, now 500 more gold on top of that. We really haven't seen Ace's massive impact in this game just yet. 1-0-4, definitely not feeding, not letting his team down, but this PA has so much room to grow.
Yeah, he's doing his job. I've really liked his early rotation in the bottom lane, like just kind of moving around a bit. But yeah, he's doing his job. You know, he's just gonna farm. That's all he's really gonna do. In this game,
I think this is a game with a PA. I've seen the least pressure on this PA because the rest of his team is just making so much space. PA is free to farm completely. There's no pressure to feed at position 1 right now. You got Broodmother just chewing through towers, chewing through heroes. Similar story with Nature's Prophet. So PA can just relax, farm up some items, and now it looks like a Roche attempt coming in, and Imperial should be able to snag that one up without any trouble.
It really is the dream PA game. They don't have anything that really counters a PA in any way on the side of Escape. Like, no actual hero that just does, like, it's just a good hero versus PA, and yeah, with all the space in the world, it's great.
Ara's gonna be going in, takes out a couple Spiderlings. Nice little payday for him, wasn't really expecting that one.
He's like, oh, thank you.
All of a sudden, he just pings out like, oh, I just got a crap load of gold. All right, Trixie in the top lane, looking to go for a little bit of split push, has his Vlads pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, he caught up well. You know, in the last couple minutes, he's farmed a lot of money on his side. Like, Invoker obviously getting the Sunstrike kill, as well as the Meatball kill on the Broodmother earlier. You know, it's not it's pretty bad for Escape still, but
it's not great.
It could be worse, right? It could always be worse.
It could always be worse. Now PA is going to go ahead, just take out that bottom tower with ease. Again, the Desolator making this super easy. So now, not only can the Broodmother and the Prophet split push any lane by themselves, the PA can also do that.
Yeah, and if he finds like any of these support heroes isolated, he can just throw them down.
Speaking of isolated, PA is going to be all alone. There's going to be some TP rotations in, but look at her burst. She's going to melt down. That is only going to be the Aegis. Now the rest of Imperial, they're on the move. They want to go back in. They want to find something here, but Escape, they had a game plan. Go in, burn the Aegis, and get the hell out before Imperial clean you up.
Yeah, it's definitely a good You know, a good thing that they're at least putting pressure on. You know, they're not feeling like they're just like, okay, we're just gonna get run over. No, they're definitely like trying to do stuff. Obviously, they are trying to fight back in this game. It's very hard. They're putting down a lot of wards, a lot of aggressive wards, some defensive wards as well. They're just, you know, they're still running around with this unit though. They kind of have to be. I mentioned it multiple times, and they are definitely adhering to it. They need to do it.
Smoke up.
Baby Knight walks into a sentry, breaks the smoke. Whiteman now though getting burst down. Nice look from Yapsor, actually isolating Baby Knight.
Yeah, the cogs are coming in. Baby Knight's just sitting there. Nice rock drop. This spider's getting low. He's gonna try to pop the ult and get through this, but that is not gonna be enough. The hunger is not insatiable enough. So that Broodmother goes down. Invoker loses his life, but still 500 gold straight to his pockets.
Big, decent swing there for Escape. Just because they had so many heroes there to get the experience as well as the net worth from that kill.
Yep, Store going in, just trying to zone out Ace, but he doesn't have a hook shot. He's just trying to do what he can with Flare, and I mean that's a bloodlusted PA. 2 slotted right now. It's not something you really want to tangle with unless you got some big ults.
Golem pressuring the mid lane. They're actually going to get this mid lane tower from Escape right now. Bam.
Very nice. Escape making a little bit of space for themselves. Again, it is still a tough game. You look at the overall net worth chart, it's still about 10,000 at a sub 20 minutes, but I'm surprised that Escape are holding on as well as they are.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty decent job of just, you know, holding the line, I guess you could say. Like sticking together, hold the line. You know, your buddy partner system. You know, stay with a buddy. Make sure you're not traveling alone. Versus this Imperial lineup, they have, I think now it's 2 Orchids online for the Furion and the Broodmother. And yeah, like we mentioned multiple times, PA with Desolator can obviously kill somebody if they're isolated alone. And he's very close to his BKB, which is great for him. I mean, it's going to be even harder for them to burst him down with that.
I mean, when do you think this Broodmother is going to fall off? Because there's definitely a lot of time still for Baby Knight, but Broodmother's not one of those heroes that stays unbelievably active forever. Sooner or later, Escape, they'll be able to pick up a gem, they'll be able to just keep the sentries up, they'll be able to keep the pressure up, because we see how quickly a Brood can be bursted down alone with just a couple of meatballs and a Sunstrike.
I think he's not going to fall off just yet because of how big the advantage that he has is, but I mean, his job is already kind of done in this game. You know, he put the pressure, he forced all these kind of reactions, this wacky movement across the whole game, and he gave the space for the PA to do what the PA needs to do. This guy is their carry. This guy needs to be the one to basically, not 1v5 in an essence, but I guess kind of, yeah. Like he is the late game carry. He's got the BKB, he's got the Deso. He's the one who's going to be doing majority of the physical damage in these instances with the Furion later on. But Baby Knight also has his items. Like, he's got his Orc, he's got his BKB. He's a force to be reckoned with still.
Yeah, he's definitely doing some work now. Has to show here, he was 3rd on the net worth chart. Timbersaw's crawled above him. I mean, do you think that's just Nature's Prophet's build? He didn't go for Midas here, so he's not going to be balling out of control, but I do like the Orchid pick. Era! He's in some trouble here. He's going to get stunned. He's mana leaked up as well. There's not much he can do. He can toss out a Chakram. He's going to get silenced up. The Orchid doing all the work in the world. There's going to be a double man chrono, though. Sunstrike to come in. They're trying to get down this PA. But PA can turn again. Has the Blast. The lifesteal's going to be there. And look at the Spider just coming in. Rock is dropped. Everyone's getting low. But Ace and the Spider, BK beat up. Baby Knight's hunting for more. There's going to be a dagger connecting up to Koik, but they've got the slow. Baby Knight stops to, or rather, there's a Midas to stop and go. And that's just going to be the Invoker falling down. He Midases before he dies to try to get the most out of his gold, but he knows he's down there. There's going to be a TP in from Era, one of the lone survivors on his team, to try to clean up here. Noya getting low. There's going to be the Thorn Spirits doing work. They will get a kill. Yapsor able to go and at least get something for Escape. It's still not a great team fight for them. In fact, Yapsor might be in some trouble here. The Spider's coming in. They will be able to run away. Era trying to go through, cleans up most of the Spiders, and the rest are going to be running for their lives. Timbersaw is the best chance that Escape have to deal with those Spiderlings.
Yep, all the ultimates expended from Escape though, and Imperial's lineup doesn't have any ultimates really, so they're just like, they're ready to go all the time with those type of fights. So all they really have to do is rely on their BKBs, I guess, a bit. But like you were mentioning, the Furion kind of falling behind a bit. I think that there's just only so much farm on the map to go around, so he's like struggling to even find it. Like the lanes are pretty pushed in, he doesn't want to put himself in such a deep perspective.
TP in and a Sprout. Looks like they're not going to be able to find the Warlock. There they go. They are able to cross back through, and Baby Knight just crawling across the ravine. TP's in from Escape, though. They want to fight this. They're not going to let this go without a struggle there. Trixie, he doesn't have his chrono. He's walking aggressively as if he does. And now Baby Knight going in, getting a lot of vision, dropping onto Cinder, and look at Cinder and go down. That's through a Shadow Word as well. There's going to be a silence up. The Void cannot time walk away. Can they keep him locked down, though? Silence is going to end at some point. The dagger comes in, and one more munch. Baby Knight's back on a killing spree. this is getting bad. Escape, they had that little window of hope where they were able to go through and at least clean up the end of a team fight, but Imperial still keeping them on their toes. No space to breathe.
Yeah, Escape has to rely on all these ultimates, while Imperial, like I said, they don't really have ultimates. They can just constantly be going, and all the lanes are being pushed on their side. They have all the momentum in the world. They have the Spheron to keep pushing the lanes in. They have obviously the Wrath of Nature to push the waves in a bit more, and yes, it's looking like Imperial's game plan is just working out super well. The laning phase, of course, went super hard in their favor, and whenever the ultimates are down on the side of Escape, it's their go time.
This tower just going down incredibly fast again. Deso, Spiderlings, Trance, and I mean, this is just really difficult. Can Escape hold the high ground here? Because that is going to be a bit of a challenge for Imperial.
I mean, they can. It's the same kind of game plan though. Imperial isn't gonna group up really unless they see the opportunity. They're gonna make like these small little, like 2 or 3 man plays to make the pickoffs, push the lanes in as much as possible, and then they'll make plays after that. After Escape maybe like uses an ultimate or 2. Oh, Quake actually gets. I think he's spotted by that Sprout, right?
Yeah, just gonna TP out. They know he's there, but they don't really want to deal with him. They just want to make him leave, get some more space for Imperial to clear out bottom. Well, Broodmother just sits mid.
Ogre's their only stun as well, so it's like, okay, we can't really stop a TP. If he's already TPing out, he's gone for now.
Yeah,
I mean, they build later.
I mean, Pia has Basher. You can always rely on that lucky first hit Bash proc.
Yeah.
Right, looks like Imperial, they're grouping up in the Radiant jungle. This Radiant jungle has really been their home all game. Radiant really lost control of that super early on.
Yeah, great pressure from the Fear and Ogre in the laning phase led to this loss of control of their jungle, and it's just a ward battle in this top secret shop area.
They're going in. Has to Joe's in some trouble. Will fall as Invoker burns him down with a meatball. Timbersaw just skates on through.
That's nice though, the double boots of travel play to be able to get some at least some pickups on the Fear when he's split pushing, but bottom lane, just a catapult hitting the tower. Actually, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they're just going in. I think Imperial, they're playing with this one patient. Maybe waiting for the next Roshan before they try to go in and get too crazy with their pushing. Is there a chance that Imperial lose their window to this game? That they just wait too long, they don't push hard enough, they don't get racks at a reasonable time, and all of a sudden Escape just scale up?
I mean, it's definitely potential. It's not like the Escape's out of the game by any means, but they do have this, they have a PA with Bloodlust, they have a Furon with Bloodlust, and they have a Broodmother with Bloodlust they're all so farmed that it's still like very good in a position for them. They just have to be careful not to get caught by these little ganks. When Escape gets these ganks without having to expend an ultimate, it's massive for them.
Oh, speaking of ganks, they're going to be going in. Smoke pops. Looks like Ogre caught out in the zone again, making space for the rest of his team. He's going to be going down. Is able to spray out and ignite before he goes. Will there be some follow-up here? Imperial thinking about bringing the Broodmother into this. And there's going to be Ace going in, possibly BKB, but it's going to be trapped in the Chronos. That BKB is effectively burned. Takes a little bit of damage there from the Sunstrike. Dagger connects and the bash onto the Warlock. Look at the currents coming out of Ace right now. Continuing to move forward. The dagger goes in onto the Void. Trixie, you can't time walk that one away. Going to be slowed down, and Ace continuing to blink on in. They get the Orchid off, and that's going to be a dead Void shock from slowing down Ace. Ace is getting low. Is able to blink back to some allies.
Yeah, Era almost has his Lotus Orb completed, which will really help out himself as well as his teammates. He can remove the silence whenever they throw the Orchids on them. And as I say that, I think he just builds a Yules.
Cool.
Okay, look, he's looking out for himself.
Yep.
Like, screw you guys.
I mean, it's gonna help.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. You can still remove that, and it gives them a little bit more ways to stop any TPs out. And maybe, I mean, he still could go for the Lotus Orb afterwards if he wants to with this plate mail, but...
Many thanks.
Leave it in the eyes of the beholder.
Alright, Imperial, again, like you mentioned, they're not reliant on those big team fight ults, so they can just kind of regroup, get their mana up, get their health up, and take a couple more creeps, continue to pressure Escape. Now, in that last fight, the only thing that was really burned down was the Chronosphere. They've still got the rock to drop, so Chaotic Offering is going to be a huge component of these fights. So far, we haven't seen the Warlock have the biggest impact in the world. He's just struggling for his first item still sitting on brown boots. He's been doing a fantastic job on the wards, though. The vision from Imperial has been aggressive all game, and he's been doing his best to take that down.
Yeah, I mean, you can just look at the wards from Imperial right now. They have one. They have two of the side wards, so you can see like anybody moving from the lanes there, and they even have one like very close to the base in the mid lane. So. Cool wards there for sure by Imperial, but yeah, Cinderen's been trying his hardest like to deal with all this. Like he's pretty dirt broke. He luckily has the Staff of Wizardry from a kill streak that he got, but yeah, he's just constantly buying sentries and wards, and now.
Oh yeah, Yapsor. thinking about this. There's going to be pings out. Imperial know what's going on. Escape. They're going to be going Rocket Flare flying through, but that is not quick enough to stop the Roche. Another Aegis onto the PA. Another big change that Timbersaw did buy a gem for himself.
I was gonna mention the same thing too. I think it's like, I think he kind of needed to. It's like Syndera's suffering so much buying all these sentries. They need to have this gem to be able to get at least some map control back. But yeah, Imperial's not really wanting to give it to them. Now they have the AC finished up on the Broodmother, you know, Deathsov obviously on the Phantom Assassin a long time ago. So now they've got lots of minus armor. They have that base push potential if they ever want to go for that. But same story, you know, the game plan does not change. You don't want to fight into these big ultimates, not all together. Just make them use one or two, and then that's your go time afterwards.
Alright, Radiant, they're pinging out this mid lane. They might be thinking about going for some sort of siege, just making sure they know where everyone is, get some eyes up, and try to push this top a little bit. I think Escape, they're getting antsy. They've been sitting around, they've been farming up, they've been scaling up for long enough. They want to try their luck at a team fight or a push or something.
They gotta try. I mean, they gotta try to get some little kills, but
oh, the smoke coming in.
Imperial's is not. They're not really gonna give them the full like team fight option. I mean, they can if they fight like a 5 versus 5 with not everybody on Escape there initially. But still, yeah, it's definitely still a little bit hard for Imperial to fight just straight 5v5.
Yeah, smoke coming in again. Radiant Observer scouted out the smoke, so Escape are not going to be too spooked by this. They've got Trixie sitting in the trees. He's got a TP. He's just cutting himself a new life there. Starting over.
Yeah. Ace finishes up the Abyssal Blade now, so he's already hitting critical mass. Joe, I think he's going to be going for that Silver Edge, and he is, so that removes, obviously, the Timbersaw's reactive armor, as well as the Void's, you know, I mean, it gives time lock, like, that's cool, but you reduce damage as well. It's just a good pickup, you know, makes your life a bit easier. Gives you some good stats.
Trixie.
They're pinging him. He wants to go for something.
Is he gonna try this? It's crazy if he does. Looks like nope, he's just gonna continue to munch himself a happy little house.
Don't think they want to expend any of their ults when Imperial has Aegis, because if they do, that's go time for Imperial to try to just push down, at least get
God, look at this wad of spiders crawling in towards the mid lane. That is real creepy.
He's scouting. He's just sending all of them out to get information all over the map.
You look at the mini-map and it's just like yellow dot, yellow dot, yellow dot everywhere. Brood is just all over the place.
Hey, Baby Knight was a StarCraft player, you know, this is where the micro comes out, the macro.
The Zerglings, they're coming for you.
He sends them everywhere. He's like, I see them, I see Quakefire, I see Era. Alright, information gained.
Yeah, speaking of that, Escape, I mean, they're clumped up right now. They're definitely keeping themselves close. Trixie is still quelling blading a path through the trees. Gonna have to come join his team at some point here. Going on a nice nature walk, I guess?
I mean, I guess so, right? He was trying to get like a nice little pickup, but it's like I said, like they don't really want to be expending these ultimates when it's not for high ground defense at this point, just because of the Aegis on the side of Imperial. They don't want to just make a small mistake which loses them a Rax.
Yeah, seems like Imperial, they're looking for the best spot to jump, because they can definitely go in, they can take a fight, they've got the damage, the PA, like you mentioned, is almost slotted.
Ooh, Trixie, they're going to be going in.
Trixie, after his long walk, is going to be cleaned up. That is the most tragic end I can think of for that play.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Diffusal Blade, so he's able to purge off the Orchid as well, at least if he gets done it, but you can't purge off Bash.
1,000 crits or whatever it is.
Yeah, can't purge off Bash and crits.
I mean, there was no time to even react to that with any sort of time walk, not even a cry. He was just super dead. He'll be up in 30 seconds, ready to play with his team once again. Escape now. You can see that they're huddled. No one's leaving each other. Even the Timbersaw, that's notorious for being able to go and clear camps quickly by himself without threat, is staying very close to his fountain.
Yeah, I mean, they're trapped in this position, and it's hurting them a lot. Like, Imperial's just gaining more and more lead, and they're getting the options that they need to be able to actually go for this high ground push. Kardel, pretty close to that Aghanim Scepter. He's just farming, you know, he's just literally just farming neutrals as a Kardel. Everybody else is just farming what they can. They just, you know, they don't really feel too much just because of the lead that they have in this game. They feeling good. They're feeling good.
Yeah. Overall, net worth is going to be a little over 15,000. XP is going to be similar stories, so levels are just spiraling in when Escape are still having trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Warlock, he's only level 9. He's still trying to get that level 2 Golem.
Doesn't make too much of a difference anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have.
Yeah,
it's
just cool.
Getting a Golem off at all in these team fights is going to be pretty crucial, and he's still having trouble with that.
Yeah. It's all about just getting all the big follow-up is what they really need with the Fatal Bonds. They need like a 5-man Fatal Bond and like a 5-man Chrono. And then
another smoke coming in. Looks like Ogre's going to pop it out. Noya just splashing out the Ignite.
Hey guys.
No, aggro the creeps. Now he's gonna get hookshot on. Is gonna be stuck, but again, losing an ogre, that is a-okay if it sets up for a great fight for the rest of your team. Trixie goes in, is able to land a chrono onto 2, wanting to focus on the Keeper of the Light. Sunstrike comes in, they are able to clean up both. But now here we go, here's the cores, and they're angry. They want to get revenge for their cute little supports. Yapzor tries to TP out, will not be successful, gonna get silenced up. Army of spiders coming at you, has to Joe. Can't actually catch up to this, but Ace, he sure can. Gonna be tossing out a dagger, there's a blink, and that's gonna be a dead clock where he's hiding behind these trees, but cannot find any sanctuary. That's gonna be 3 dead on escape for the 2 Imperial supports.
Yeah, they obviously get a cool pickup on the supports with the chrono, but you know, the supports ain't the problem right now. It's these humongous cores.
I mean, Imperial would be happy with that trade 1,000 times in a row. Yeah, your ogre makes a ton of space. Okay, your Keeper of the Light dies. Slightly unfortunate, but the fact that your cores are able to go in, clean up the enemy cores, and not really feel that scared by it is great, because all the spells have already been dropped from escape. Now, here we go.
Oh, he's just going in.
Ace is fine. Ace does not have his Aegis anymore. He's going to be sitting in the chakra, taking some damage. He does have the flash. He's going to pop his DKB and going to get down to the low ground safely. Baby Knight was there to bail him out if things went awry.
Yeah, there's no one alive who can really do anything to him at this point. There's no chrono. The Invoker and the Invoker Clockwork were already dead, so there's nothing to really catch him, and he's just super confident.
Yep, it's getting tough. Escape, their window is starting to close down as Imperial get more serious about threatening these tier 3s. Now, Imperial, they've had all the exterior towers down for a while now, but just haven't decided to push high ground. They were waiting for an Aegis last time. They got an Aegis on their PA and waited long enough for it to expire. What are Imperial waiting for?
I think they can just, I mean, they're not really in too much of a rush. They're scaling so hard. They have 3 cores that benefit heavily from Bloodlust. Ace is still got a ways away until he's fully 6-slotted. He can obviously replace the Vlads. He can obviously get another item after that. It's the same thing kind of with the Brood and the Furion. Brood maybe a little bit more like closer to critical mass, but he still has 3 slots as well. And yeah, Bloodlust on top of that, and then they have Keeper of the Light. So once he gets the Aghanims and the next Roshans, probably, that might be the go time, you know? At least that extra sustain coming out from the back, from the heal, from the coddle during daylight, as well as that vision advantage, because, I mean, PA, at one point, he's just going to be able to blink into the back lines and just basically one-shot somebody with Abyssal when his team is just going on the rest of the other heroes.
Escape going for a nice little strategy here. They smoked up, they go into the dire jungle because it's the last place Imperial expect them, because they're all just so far behind. Imperial expecting to stay in their base, they're not going to check their own turf. Ace, yep. I mean, this PA is double damaged. If this dude crits on you, that is going to hurt. That is going to be probably all of Clockwork health at this point.
Yeah, it's probably about. He might live. He's got 13. Oh, yeah, he's at, okay. Under the tower protection, he's got 13 armor, but otherwise he's got only like 6 when he's not near anybody. So yeah, he might be pretty close to dying from 1 dagger with the DD.
Well, either way, Escape. They're gonna go back. They're gonna TP out of their brief little vacation into the dire jungle and just go back to huddling. Arrow, you can see him trying to clear up as many creeps as possible mid, but his farm's still starting to stuffery. Still got 13 Bloodstone charges, but just can't find kills. Imperial are doing a great job just slowly but surely starving out Escape.
Sticking to the game plan. This is... I mean, Imperial knows how to play this Broodmother and this, like the Fury, and this is their staple. They're the only ones who pretty much still run it. I guess the Fury and, of course, Alliance too, but...
Ace sitting in the trees here. Ace is saving up a ton of money. Are we in rapier territory, man?
No, he wouldn't.
Alright, top lane, there's going to be a stun on the Invoker. He is not getting out of there alive. TP in from Ace, they're just going to clean this up, and I think this is the go time. Invoker dead for over a minute with no buyback. You've got the rest of Escape just trying to waddle around their jungle, but Broodmother going to scout them out, and I think Broodmother could probably take on a couple of them solo.
This is actually cool. Ace is going for a heart on PA next, so he's going to be that frontliner that they need to kind of just tank the towers and beat on it. Because with the heart, he's going to be pretty damn hard to bring down.
I mean, he's already pretty damn hard to bring down.
Yeah. He's
got that blur level 4, and in terms of True Strike, it's not happening.
Yeah, they're pretty much all magical damage.
Keeper of the Light. We haven't really been talking a lot about him because he's been that, you know, silent guy in the back lines. He goes in. The mana leak was super helpful in the laning stage, but since then he's been doing his best to clear with Illuminates. He's been popping out some nice blinding lights. He's going towards his Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to be a pretty big change. Oh, okay.
In like, yeah, 5 gold.
Yeah.
When the courier gets back, Rosh is up. So they're probably going to check that with like a treant or something in any moment now, and then they're going to pick up the Kardel Ags and then wait for daytime when they might not even wait for daytime. They might just get the Rosh and make them move with it there. But I think the safest play to do, obviously because this is an elimination, you know, not this game, but this series is elimination. Whoever loses is out of the DreamHack or G final. So.
It's getting real here. Imperial, they're feeling strong. I think they were the favorites moving into the series because they've been performing so well in the last couple of weeks. Escape had a really nice showing this morning, but unfortunately they dropped down. Now Aegis on the ground. He got some nice yummy cheese as well. It is going to be bopped out by the clockwork. They know this is going on. They know the cheese is on the ground, and it's going to be a Aegis Prophet cheese.
Yep, they can just force the side lanes in now, and it's a minute and a half until daytime, so that'll be the easiest way for them to siege. But yeah, they have heart 3,600 HP on a Phantom Assassin.
That seems balanced.
It's pretty good. I mean, Baby Knight even just picks up an Ayascati too, so he's looking extremely tanky. 2,700 HP with 30 armor, and they have all the minus armor in the world and multiple different forms of silence in order to initiate on. So this will be their go time. We'll see how Escape manages to deal with it. Maybe, I mean, they just gotta get some huge, like, five-man chronos or something. Like, hope that Imperial makes mistakes.
They're finally walking up to that high ground, trying to go. They get some treants sprayed out. You've got your Timbersaw doing his best to try to clear these out. Tornado comes in, only going to connect on a couple creeps there. Timber chain back on through, so Era's just sitting back. He's getting burned down. Noya going forward. There is going to be a Chronosphere. They got the PA under, but look at this Void. He can't do anything. Nice chaotic offering, though. Ace might be in a little bit of trouble. Pops the BKB, but just going to blink forward there, unloading onto the Warlock, and it's looking like Imperial are just too strong to bring down here. Mana Leak's gonna stun up this Timbersaw. Ace reinitiating here. Timber chain away. Will save Era's life temporarily, but Hasta Joe just goes in. They land a Sprout into the fountain. This is when Imperial are just asserting their dominance over Escape's territory. A full lane of Rax now goes down. Era, he's getting low. His mana's being burned. He's trying to make it to his fountain alive. Meanwhile, the small building's starting to go, and now Imperial rotating in for the mid lane. They've got the Trance, gonna get cleaned up by the Tornado. Goikva, he's doing whatever he can trying to mount some sort of team fight, but the rest of his team just isn't alive. There's no buybacks left online. And now reinitiation from Ace going in onto the... It's not looking good. There's the GG called out. Imperial just with a very cheeky strat, the Brood and the Prophet, but oh boy does it pay off.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was kind of cookie cutter, like, from the lineup that we saw, you know, that if they have the lanes go their way, which, I mean, it's kind of like a 99% chance that they will, because